Here at Total Telecom TV, I'm joined by Andy Bax of Seaborn Networks. Andy, thanks for talking to us here at Submarine Networks EMEA. What are some of the big trends you're seeing in the market at the moment?
Well, I think right now what we're seeing is there's a transformation going on in our industry. There is a move away from being purely a wholesale capacity provider, which in almost all parts of the world is now it's a commodity. It's a commodity just like any other commodity. And in that respect, people, not that they don't value it, but it's now it's a piece part of the value chain, whereas for years and years and years, it was the value chain. Now it's just a piece part. So I think what we're seeing is people like Seaborn and other cable operators reaching further into the service value chain for customers. So that key trends we see, especially in our part of the world. So in the Americas, North America, South America, almost every cable operator now is also an IP provider in their relative markets. So Seaborn, as a US to Brazil cable company, we're now providing IP and other value services throughout Latin America. So Argentina, Chile, Colombia, Peru, reaching further into the customer's ecosystem as opposed to just sitting back and going, we have a cable, what do you need? We're having to be much more value driven and creative around how we position ourselves in the market. And we see that across the globe in terms of connectivity. That's what customers want. They're not just interested in what cable have you got. They're really now focused around how do you fit in my service portfolio? How do you fit inside of what I need from a global network? So that's the trend I see moving forward. Whether that means consolidation, whether that means more partnerships in terms of how people cooperate with one another, I think that remains to be seen. We're definitely seeing in our region now, we're seeing a lot more cooperation rather than competing with each other as different cable owners for services and customer needs. We're co-bidding a lot more now. So we're actually recognizing that actually we all need to work together to deliver what that customer wants. Not just I can do my piece, they can go and get their piece from somewhere else. Trying to put together packages of services now that make sense for customers. So that's really the trend. That's where I see us going. If we don't fit in the ecosystem of what customers want, we become irrelevant. And if we become irrelevant, then we're irrelevant. People don't pay any attention to us anymore. They don't value what we do.
But it sounds like you're adapting to it. What's been some of the highlights of the last year or so?
Well, a couple of examples. We have, as I just mentioned, we're partnering with innovative companies in our part of the world, in our region, to deliver space and power and connectivity in Argentina, Chile, Colombia, Peru, soon to be Mexico. Nothing to do with what people sometimes assume is our only business, which is Seabrass One, the cable, but to do with, and we leverage that. We leverage what we've got on Seabrass to enable us to reach these other markets. And it's all part of an overall package sometimes that we provide to a customer, but we're reaching further into those layers. So at Seaborn, that's what we've been doing. We have also, 2019 was transformational for us in that we went from being a pure wholesale capacity provider. Now we're an IP provider. We're people talk about tier one IP providers. We like to think of ourselves as a tier 0.5. Not to say we are better than a tier one, because we're not. We're not better than a tier one. We're still developing this network. It's only 6 months ago that we launched it. But we're already, we are one of the most densely connected IP networks in the Americas. And that means we're also obviously extremely well connected globally, but in the Americas, one of the most densely connected IP networks in that region, both north and south. That's been huge for us, a huge transformation. And it like I said, it takes us to that next level of relationship with those customers. It means we can offer solutions now rather than just, here's a list of our products, what do you want? We always have been, but so much more in the last 12 months have been focused around solution discussions with customers and prospects. What can we do to help fix your problems?
Now, you're talking about the Americas, but we're here in London.
Yes, we are.
Why is this event important for you to attend?
So this is, ours is a global industry, and I'm sure you hear this all the time. It's a global industry. It's a relatively small number of people that are involved in it, at least at the operator level, as we are. The opportunity to come together in one place with a real focus and the time to have valuable and extensive conversations about whether it's new projects or new services that we can collaboratively provide across the different subsea networks. There's an awful lot of discussion we'll be having this week around SDN or software-defined networks and network orchestration at the subsea level, which doesn't exist today. We're miles behind. This is the place where we get to have those conversations. So be able to sit with your peers and partners, and in some cases your competitors, who are also your partners, and have valuable, really good, long relationship-driven conversations around what are we doing next, how do we work together, how do we better this thing that we call the global internet, how do we make it work better. It's places like this that enable us to do that in a concentrated effort without having to travel to 14 different countries to do it. Right?
Andy, thank you very much for talking to us.
It's been a pleasure as always.